Every gamer in the world liked violent video games a lot. But the progressive columnist who lived in San Francisco did not. Progressive columnist hated violent video games, no matter the season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be their heads aren't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that their hipster glasses are too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may be that their bleeding hearts are two sizes too small. Whatever the reason, their hearts or their glasses, they sit there and write, declaring gamers fascist. They complain about capitalism, which they don't believe in, for it has created mean gamers. They literally can't even. But there's one time of the year they become especially miffed, and that is Christmas time, the season of gifts. The consumerism rampant, the oppression systemic, the horrible sexism in video games endemic. But now comes a tale beginning one peculiar Christmas Eve, when all of that changed, if you can believe. We joined the progressive columnist peering out his ivory tower, standing there gloomy, face all sour, for he knew every gamer would receive a violent new game, which every school shooting, sexist remark, and cruel joke was to blame.
"Those violent games are problematic," he snarled with a sneer. "And tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here."
Then he growled, his progressive fingers strumming,
"I must find a way to stop the violent games from coming. For the 2 years I've been out of college, I've put up with it now. I must question this problematic content. But how? How?
Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The progressive columnist got a wonderful, awful idea.
"I know just what to do."
The progressive columnist laughed in his throat.
"I'll write a hot take about games. No experts will I quote. I'll concede that they don't cause violence, as everyone knows. There's no evidence to support that claim, the studies show. Instead, I'll pose an indistinct question that cannot be verified, like whether violent games reinforce gun culture. The parents will be terrified. I'll claim sexy outfits in games reinforce rape culture, and blame it on money-hungry AAA publishers, those vultures. I'll suggest that gamers are all mean white men filled with hate. After all, these are the people who created Gamergate. And I can't stand all the memes, nor the hacker known as 4chan from which they stem.
Do we even know who is this 4chan?
I'll publish my column on the Huffington Post. They don't pay their writers money, but the good it will do the most."
Then the progressive columnist sat down to write his think piece, smug in the knowledge that violent video games would soon cease.
"Once published, those gamers will attack me in droves," he said. "The controversy I've created, the streets will run red. Should anyone send me a tweet and dare to disagree, I'll block them by the 1, the 2, the 43. I'll use random block lists until all disagreement is absent. Should any disagreement get through, I'll call it harassment."
So he published his column on that fateful Christmas Eve night, and went to sleep secure that on the side of history he was right. Morning soon came, and the sun rose early on that clear Christmas day. And wouldn't you know it, everyone ignored the column, and instead said, "Let's play." They played Doom and Battlefield and then Call of Duty. They even played Bayonetta and admired her booty. Aghast, the progressive columnist screamed,
"My God, how gross! They seem to like problematic games the most. Look at them down there having such fun, playing their Nintendos, their PS4s, their Xbox One."
Then he looked inside the window of another gamer's house, and saw him playing a game with a keyboard and mouse. Such a beautiful sight he saw that Christmas day, the gamer running 60 frames per second, resolution 4K. What happened then? Well, on the internet, they say, the progressive columnist's heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he went home and installed Steam on a brand new PC that night. Secure in his home, a smile spread upon his face, the progressive columnist was finally happy, for he had just joined the PC master race. Merry Christmas, progressive columnist. Merry Christmas, far and near. Let us all make a resolution for this upcoming new year. Let us resolve to stop the hate, stop the name-calling, and stop the blaming. Instead, let us come together as one and enjoy the beautiful world of gaming. You're a mean one, Mr. Progressive Columnist. My Christmas present for you all this year is I'm not going to finish that song. You're all welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Have a perfect Happy Holiday season. And have a great New Year.